Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody, man. Welcome back. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like this video, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from. Make sure let me know if you're a fan of Migos, Takeoff, Young Dove, and let's get right into it, man. Just got done speaking with everybody in Houston. They basically saying that DJ Pat and Lil Kim was standing right there next to Quavo and next to Takeoff. So Pat was behind Quavo, and he actually said, he yelled something when they was arguing. He was part of the fake argument that was going on because the argument was a decoy. It was a distraction alert. And so that way everybody looked over there. And then there was something else going on behind the scenes, lurking in the shadows. And that's what you guys had to pay attention to, because you had to go run it back and rewatch it, binge watch all the videos and back at it again. Because what you had to see is the fact that DJ Pat was right there behind Quavo right before somebody swung, and they walked off. You could see the shiny shoes. One of his shoes was there, and then he popped out with the braids. You see the same exact braids, but they was just a little bit tighter for that night. And so when you see that, and you can see like he kind of light-skinned and he had the braids, so you actually see that behind Quavo's shoulder. And then you see him walking off and then duck down, and that's when swinging happens and Quavo gets swung on. And Lil Cam had the yellow hoodie the whole time. Once he walked out with that brown paper sack and walked right up to Takeoff, and he was behind him, and Migo Bands watched this whole thing happen. That's why Migo Bands was already on the jump, like on his heels, ready to go, on his tippy toes and everything like that. So now you see the whole picture of Pat right there next to Quavo. He must have said something to his ear. He must have whispered in his ear or something right before he ducked down and weaved. He bobbed and weaved, and then you see the swinging happen. But the person with the phone, like they didn't hold it up at the right time. They almost backed up and ducked. And so it's crazy because all 40 of them people was right there and they seen it happen. And then that's when Pat, you want to know where Pat went? He took off, man, right down the stairs. He jumped into the back of the Cadillac and they dipped, man, instantly. That's when you seen them already have the reverse lights on when they when they park right there at the bottom of the stairs and right there in that walkway. And so anytime you see a car with the reverse lights already on and you're supposed to be getting into it, that's actually could be somebody trying to do a setup or something. Like you see something about that. If something's about to go down and there's a car already with the reverse lights on, that means they know exactly what's about to happen. And they actually waiting for somebody to jump in or waiting for the right moment to take off, because they know that they can't pull forward. Like they already unscrewed the plates and put on used car dealerships plates. That's when you know something is about to go down. Whenever you see like a car, especially sometimes it's a Chevy or a Cadillac or something, right? And then they got the car dealership plates on it, and they pull up and you know, and something went down, it always comes back to some Getaway car that had dealer plates on, not even like literally like a used car, like it's a logo for a place. It's not even actual letters on the plate. So y'all gotta understand that they already had this plan for a setup, man, because them peoples was waiting right there. And that's when Pat and Cam ran down them stairs. And one of them ran down one way, the other ran down the other way. And there was a lot of people that ran inside. They was waiting for the elevator, but the elevator couldn't hold all 40 of them people. So people had to disperse. Some ran back down the fire escape in the back alley and to the parking garage and everything like that. And so once the crowd dispersed, that's when you see the reverse light already on, and Cam and Pat swing around and make their way, jump into the back, and then it skirt off. People said they could still hear the tire skirting from 2 blocks away. So they had made a left, right. And then they hit hit the highway, started the loop and got off somewhere, dipped out of there. They got out the jam. They went on 12 speed basically, but nobody could catch them. Nobody was chasing after them. That's the difference, is that it's like they had all them cars and everything in Houston, but nobody went and chased after them. They definitely they not making their cars like fast down there. They just making it stylish, you know? And like collector and original sometimes and all that, right? So that's why nobody jumped in, because they wasn't gonna catch him or anything. Nobody had like a super fast car or nothing like that. There was no Lambos or nothing. They didn't pull up in a Lambo. That would have been the perfect time to have a Lambo, because they would have caught up to whoever did that to Takeoff, and they would have been able to see what was going on or something, or be able to like, hey, get their justice if it was right out there, because a lot of people said that justice should be done or whatever, right? Like they, that they would get caught in the streets before they would get caught for like, something else officially. And so if somebody had a Lambo, they could have just jumped in there and boom, took off right there. And so, but you got to stay with something. Somebody should have had something fast, so that way you could jump in and actually be able to like prevent them from getting away or something like that. They could have got blocked in. If somebody would have had a Hummer, they could have blocked them in, but nobody had a Hummer there. Nobody had the Hummer. Somebody else had the Escalade, but they didn't want to get they dings and scratches on it. So see, that's why nobody blocked them in. And so it was a whole different thing. It wasn't like what you thought it was. It wasn't a lot of people trying to like react and help. They were all scared and they took off running. So you see how it ended up playing. Everybody thought that they were like, A1, just the toughest people, and they ended up all just running and hiding and ducking down and all that. It was only a couple people that ended up making a move on their Migo bands, but now that Lil Cam and Pat, they took them down. They telling on Migo bands right now. They about to pull up on Migo bands, roll down the window and point at him and be like, that's him, get him. And Migo bands is going to have to be like, careful and everything like that, because of the fact that it's two of them against one of him, and they're about to be saying a lot about Migo bands, and Migo bands is going to have to, he doesn't know what they're saying. So what he's going to have to do is basically, try to figure out a way to strategically answer the questions in a certain way where he's not really putting himself in the situation too much. And he's going to have to say, that they were trying to get him or something like that, or that they were trying to get Takeoff, or that they were trying to get Quavo. And so at the end of the day, he had to make sure all his things was legit, and that way he can't get caught up on something else, because that's how they caught Lil Cam, was because he couldn't be legit, because he already had been in trouble for 2 other things. So this is his 3rd strike. So what you think he's going to do? He's going to start telling on everything, on everybody. He pretty much told on everybody he could. Like he threw everyone under the bus. He even said the 40 people that ran away, they did it, or that they ran and that they might have started, or somebody pushed them, and this and that. Like they try to say anything that they could and try to get other people in trouble for it. And so that's what you got to understand, that they're both trying to double up and double team up on telling on Migo Bands, because Migo Bands is actually Quavo and Takeoff's manager. He Quavo's brother and their manager at the same time. So like he's the one that handles the back end and booking the shows and doing the features and the management stuff. That goes through him and his emails and all that things, his companies and everything like that they have set up, so that when people want to do partnership or work with Migos, that Migo Bands is the guy that has to take care of that. But he's also from North Atlanta, so he was right there growing up with Quavo. And so by the time that they got to this whole situation, he was like, nah, you're not going to do Quavo and Takeoff like that. And he's the one that was basically the only person that could be considered security out that group, just because he had the blick with them and everything. But they gave up all their power when they checked in with MobTies and everybody that was down there to greet them, and that they hung out with that past, like those 2 days, that whole entire weekend when they was hanging out and everything. And right before, leading up to that, when you seen it and them driving through the 5th Ward, driving in that drop top, but Takeoff wasn't there. And so he might have been in the Sprinter van, or it was somebody else, maybe with a girl or something. And so that's when events lead up. But then when Migo Band sees Pat running up behind Quavo, ducking, and then bobbed and weave and try to swing, and then he backed up and faced Lil Cam and Takeoff, and seen that's when everything went off. And that's when he decided that he was the one that had to step up in that moment, in the heat of the moment, under the pressure. He was like gonna have to be the one. And so, but all that in the circumstances, anything, it never even came out to the outcome that they thought, because man, it should have never happened to Takeoff. And so condolences still go out to his family and everybody out there that, you know, was really like close to Takeoff and everything. So I want you guys to comment down below and let me know. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one.